Good morning, Fuel 910. Hope you guys have had a great week. It's almost the weekend. You only have like one more day and then you're there, so that's exciting. If you guys were at youth group on Wednesday and in your small group, one of the questions that was asked, like based off of James's, is that how you say that? Sermon, was if you met with God, how do you think he would treat you? And I don't know what your answer to that question was, but it got me thinking about something that I've kind of been learning lately. So, in 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, it says, "We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ." I feel like that's a verse that like growing up in the church, I've heard like, take your thoughts captive, and I was always like, okay, but what does that mean? And I feel like it's something I've been learning a lot about lately, and this idea of taking your thoughts captive and like redirecting your thoughts. So that's a helpful way for me to think about it, is to redirect your thought. So maybe to that question, you have, like, you're telling yourself a lie or something that's not truth about how God would treat you. Or maybe it's something totally different. Maybe there could be any lie that you're telling yourself about God. Like maybe I am not good enough for God and God doesn't love me. Or this sin in my life like is too big and God's not going to forgive it. Or God doesn't hear my prayers, like God doesn't care. Whatever it might be, these lies that we tell ourselves, to in that moment, like as that's happening, to stop yourself and say, like, this is a lie and what is truth. So maybe you're having a moment and you're telling yourself, like, God is never going to forgive this sin. Like, it's too big. And stopping yourself in that moment and being like, wait, that is a lie. Like, that is a lie from Satan. That is not in Scripture. Scripture tells us that, like, God, like, there's nothing that's too big for God to forgive. Yeah, and so whatever it might be, stopping yourself and telling yourself truth. And it's not like this super easy thing that you're gonna like do it a couple times and be like, oh wow, now I always do that. Like, it's something that takes time and it takes practice, and you have to do like over and over and over again, because right when you tell yourself a lie over and over and over again and it's all in your head, it's like that becomes true in your brain. But if you tell yourself truth over and over and over again, like that's what's gonna become true, if that makes sense. So that is my challenge, I guess, to you guys, is to really like pay attention to what you're telling yourself, and if it is not something that is like of Jesus or of Scripture, and it's a lie from Satan, to stop it. You're like, nope, I'm not going to believe that. What does Scripture tell me? And it's, just make that a practice and continue to tell yourself truth instead of telling yourself lies. But yeah, like I said, it is hard, and it's something that you'll have to do. You have to practice. But yeah, that's my thought of the day, and I hope you guys have a good Friday.